Some journeys begin with a single chair, and nothing is ever the same again.
Episode 24, Waiting for His Own Turn. Steve entered the room more slowly this time. His body was more at ease than in previous sessions, but there was still a shadow on his face. It was as if a new voice had emerged within him, yet it remained timid. When he sat down, his eyes dropped briefly to the floor before meeting the therapists. That look carried the weight of a man caught between speaking and staying silent.
Welcome, Steve. How are you feeling today?
Conflicted. Part of me feels lighter because I can finally say some things out loud. But another part of me is still tense. It's as if every time I say no, I'm afraid I'll lose someone.
That's a very understandable feeling, because when you say no, you're not just refusing a request, you're challenging an identity that was handed to you years ago. Did you experience such moments this week?
Yes. Twice. The first time was at work. My boss asked me for an extra report. Normally, I'd say, of course. But I was really exhausted. I said, I can't finish it today, but I'll send it tomorrow morning. At first, I looked at his face, waiting to see if he'd be upset. But he just nodded. And in that moment, I realized sometimes saying no doesn't bring disaster.
As Steve described this moment, his hands made small movements. There was still tension in his body, but a spark had lit in his voice.
What did that experience teach you?
In my mind, there was always this equation: rejection equals punishment. But I realized that equation was wrong. The only thing that was real was the fear inside me.
That's an important realization. Seeing that fear and reality are not the same. That can set you free. And what was the second incident?
More personal. My wife asked me to go out with her, even though I had come home late from work. I was so tired, but my instinct was to say, just agree anyway. Then a voice inside me said, no, you don't have the energy. So I said, I'm too tired tonight, but let's go tomorrow. At first, I saw disappointment on her face. It hurt. I thought, did I make a mistake? But the next day, we went out. I was more energetic, more present. And my wife said, I feel you more today. At that moment, only one thought crossed my mind. So, I can still be loved, even when I say no.
Steve's eyes lit up as he said this, because for the first time in his life, he understood that no could also mean yes. Yes to himself, yes to his truth.
Steve, that's a powerful experience, because what you've discovered is this: to truly exist doesn't mean constantly pleasing others. Sometimes setting your own boundary creates a more genuine closeness. You experienced this with your wife.
Yes. And I was surprised, because I always thought, if I don't give, I'll lose my worth. But when I set a boundary, my worth didn't disappear. On the contrary, I became more visible.
So, what hope does this realization give you for the future?
Maybe people can love me not only for what I give, but for who I am. That thought still scares me, but it also relieves me, because it's what I've wanted to hear all my life. Steve, you're enough just as you are.
At the end of the session, Steve leaned back in his chair more comfortably. There were still traces of fear in his eyes, but alongside them was something new, the first real belief in his own worth. As he walked to the door, there was a noticeable balance in his steps. For the first time in his life, it felt like he wasn't waiting for someone else's turn, but for his own.
These stories are fictional, but the emotions they stir might be real. See you in the next one.